Assalamu alaikum. Some days ago, I had a trip to a market and I went to the fish section and I saw my most beloved fish. And suddenly I noticed that it's double the price. The mind goes boom. What happened? Is that been gold plated? Or some vitamins have been added? But then I realize things are getting expensive. In a country where I live, the systems are strong, the government controls are strong. When the world fought with COVID, the country was working properly. Logistic was there, shelves were filled. But price now changing, not changing at that time, tells a story. And it brings me to see the pain of the people around the world. People in Pakistan, in India, even in developed countries like USA and America. People feeling the pain of price increase, especially the fuel price increase. Sitting here, it's easy to talk about those things. But if you don't talk, what else you will do? So I thought to make an analysis that what's happening, why the fish has become expensive. When I try to list, and I try to list down the whole list, and if I try to discuss it, it will take years. And if I try to summarize it, it will take hours. So I did categorize it into three smaller sections. The natural disasters. This is something which will come. We can plan for it, but no one can beat the nature. And then I am not a disaster planning guy or a journal planning guy, so that's not my field. Then there is the moral and ethical things. You have political mismanagement, much talked about. You have personal and corporate grief, talked about, hidden, not hidden. You have a new phenomenon, panic buying, where people start buying and prices start increasing due to a panic. It can be natural, it can be artificially created. But again, I'm not a politician. Then there is economics, which always have been there. At its simplest, it's demand and supply. And then again, I'm not an economist. But inside an economics, there is a domain which is supply chain. Now, I am a supply chain professional. And when we supply chain professionals see the world, we don't see them in events. We see them in systems. Let me try to explain it. People might see a closure of a waterway, a canal, a sea. But what do a supply chain professional see? Port congestions, per kilogram movement cost increasing. We see increase in the insurance rates, which normally are even not known. We see the diversions. We see end of voyage declarations. Same way, people might see war, but we see border crossing. Borders are closed. Congestion is made. Truck availability can go down. We see inventory and storage crisis. We see currency rates crisis. We move on. There is natural disasters, but we supply chain people see them again in systems, and we say labor shortages, raw material shortages. These things have books upon books, and all those things from fuel increase to supply chain to natural disasters to ethical side has been discussed over and over again, better than me. So I'm not here to discuss these. But sure, I am here to discuss fuel. But if I am not here to discuss these, the question is, what will I discuss about in the fuel? What is there which is not covered in these, and yet it relates to fuel, and yet it relates to the increase in the price? Let me tell you a small part of my life. My father, a man of age and wisdom, a prisoner of war, one who has traveled and worked around, one who has seen riches and the poorest. He has a habit, a peculiar habit. Even having the cars and everything in the home, whenever he get a chance, he will go by public transport. Now, we get worried about his health, or where is he? And there is another element, at least in me, which is the element of shame. That father of Hashim, director logistics, son of Sarwar Khan, grandson of Ibrahim Khan, the Jagirdar of Kotke and Juburi, a person from the direct lineage of Sultan Awais Jahangiri, the ruler of Sultanate-e-Gabar, one of the ancient and independently ruled Islamic state pre-division of subcontinent. These elements bring me shame. But then something happened. Someone sent me a forward in the group of WhatsApp. It said something like, our politicians are wasting the money in buying the jets and this and that. See, the Europeans travel via just cars, not private cars, by Uber. They go by metro. They go by bicycle. And it was a proud feeling sent to me by those guys, and I felt, wow, my father travels public and I feel shame, and a CM president go non-public and we feel proud. What a hypocrisy in our mind. The things changed more, so much more, that an event happened where some of the people from the family had to go to a wedding. The wedding happened in another city. All of them well off, all of them having cars. But they decided that if they go by cars, they will all be tired driving. They cannot enjoy the gathering. So not for the saving of fuel or saving of cost, but for not being tired, they hired a van. And turn out they enjoyed. And they enjoyed the gathering because they were not tired. And turn out they enjoyed the journey also. And that proved the point of my father when he says that public transport is not only transport, but is a social link. So, when I saw, when I heard, when I felt, then I thought, okay, public transport should be something we should think about. Public transport is something we should talk about. And then also, we should talk about our habits. Is our car our need? Or is it a luxury? Or is it a status? Or it is a sheep flow? I cannot decide for everyone. I cannot say for anyone. But let's go back and try to see the concept which I first said, that economics is demand and supply. It is the most ancient concept, yet it's the most complex concept. Normally, the demand has created the supply, but recently the supply created demand also. Some time ago, there were no mobiles. Now everyone has mobile and there is a demand for mobile. That is called innovation-based demand creation. Government makes the metro. The biggest example is Riyadh Metro. People used to think, who will go by Riyadh Metro? Everyone has car. How will this system work? And today, it's one of the busiest metro. Even I myself used it. When there is something useful, the demand is created. It's the government-based demand. And then you have the demand for, let's say, sprinkling water or something luxury. That's marketing-based demand. So innovation, government, marketing, branding can defy the older rules. But still, the older rule remain. Still, we have to go car or no car. Demand create supply or supply create demand. You remember that very saying everyone used to say, necessity is the mother of invention? Well, yes, necessity is the mother of invention. When there is a necessity, the thing will come. And this is one of the questions of today which has got us and we are stuck in it. It's something like, if I don't use car, what is the alternative? It goes even deeper. If not my leader or my political party, what is the alternative? We don't see anything else. So we first try to see the alternatives and then we go back to find what we will do. This philosophy is not wrong. This thing is not wrong, but it's not the totality. When you see a system or when you see a structure, you have to go to the root cause, that why it is happening. The fuel price is going up. Simply, there is war, there is this thing. But are there anything else other than that? Now the problem is, or the problem statement would be, because they say if you can define the problem, the 50% of the problem is solved. Fuel price is going up. My life has to go on. Government is not handling it properly. I have no other alternative. I have to use my car. Thus, my income is same, my expense have increased. Back to the sparkling water. Have you ever heard a customer of a luxury brand saying that the bag I was 20,000 riyals yesterday and today it's 40,000 riyal? That's so bad. It's so expensive. Actually, if they can afford it, they will buy it and they will brag about it. That's the top tier luxury. They can afford it. You go tier down. You have the coffee lovers. They go to a specific shop. The shop increase the price. Now they will not complain. They will buy it, or simply they will change their shop. That's the second tier. Then is the third tier, where we cannot leave the product, but we don't see the alternatives. Let's go a little back into the history. History is a subject I used to think that it has not much of a value, but now I think without history you cannot go to the future. People used to walk, then people learned how to use animals, then people learned how to use animal with carts, then the buses came, then the bicycle came, then came the cars, then slowly the buses reduced, bicycle reduced, then became the road congestion, and then people asked for alternatives, and the government made the metros. And where there are no, the roads are congested. So today the bicycle or motorcycle become a luxury, but now it's trending back because of the fuel. We have to go back. How you say? Back to the basics. And when I go to my basics back, I remember we used to have something, a minivan. A van, they used to call it Suzuki. Though Suzuki is a brand, but some brands stick. And people used to sit in it, 5 on one side, 5 on other side. I have very good memories of it. I knew the drivers knew me. We had people, we will talk, meet, pay for their rent, they will pay for ours. Relations were made, everything was made. Life was working. But then came the next step. We upgraded. We went to taxis. Then we upgraded. We got our cars. And slowly that private public transport system died. Now we feel the pain, but we say we don't have any alternative. But actually alternative was there, but we killed it. We killed the demand and supply got killed. So simple economics worked. Now I can stop here because already the video is going up. But then I will be a motivator speaker. I would be someone who is looking for YouTube things, or I would be a philosopher, but I am not. And then my fish story is not also finished. You would like to know the fish story, right? Let me give you some example. We can walk. Yeah, we can walk to Bakala. We do walk for exercise, right? We can use bicycle. It's a very trendy. Buy a good one. Look good. We can use a bike wherever there is a short distance. Have a luxury bike. Have a normal bike. Have an electric bike. It's up to you. We can use taxi, whatever form you want. Today you can get from normal to expensive. We can use rent a car. You can get the car of your dream for a day, or how much you can afford the car you cannot buy. We can use public transport, which I mentioned before, but then comes the trouble. If there is no metro, if there is no government-based transport, we think there is no public transport. But actually that's not the case. When we see, we will find. And when we will want, the demand will be there, the supply will come. Have you not noticed? We have luxury buses and the normal buses going on some routes while nothing going on other routes. It's not because they love the routes. It's because there is a demand, and businesses always go for demand. So it's not only about demand and supply, it's about our social contract also. We use public transport, walk, bicycle, we save fuel, we save environment, we save trees. We become socially responsible. And on top of that, we save our health. And it's not only this. We make resources available where they should be. The same fuel can go to the factories, to agriculture, to logistics. The cost will reduce, the life standard will go up, and indirectly your cost will reduce. That's a social contract we have to think of. Resource allocation is one of the biggest problems today. Fuel is not bad. Fuel is necessity. But is it the necessity of my car, or is it necessity of the system? Now back to the story. That fish is called Solomon, one of the most talked about fish. And my brain was hardwired, maybe due to the beautiful color, maybe social media, maybe no smell, maybe good taste. Maybe I wanted to brag about it because it's socially something expensive. Or maybe I related it to my area trout. But that day, the salesman said, "Sir, there is other fish which is similar to trout." He showed me hamur. He showed me other fishes, multiple times cheaper. And then I thought, what is it? Why I was only looking for salmon? And turned out that I was looking for a status symbol, for a liking, and I thought there is no other alternative until the alternative was shown to me. And I was open to see the alternative. As long as we are open, there will always be alternatives. And then I came to know that salmon used to be one of the cheapest fish. Same way the lobster used to be one of the cheapest dish. And today, when it become symbol status, it become the expensive fish. Instead of a food and nutrition, it becomes status. So we got ourselves bugged down. Now at the last, the right angle, as always. Spend. Spending is not the issue, but spend what you can afford. Israf is not allowed. Talk. Talk all you want. Talk about politics. Talk about economics. Push. Run the movements in civil way. But remember, you will be asked about you. What you could have done is you. You want to do things for yourself? Go ahead. Buy a car. Do whatever you want. But think of social liability. You will be asked for Jama. You will be asked for the group. Whenever doing anything, there is a rule of cost and benefit analysis. Go by anything, by any mean, by any way, if it fits you. It's not about car. It's not about fuel. It's not about Solomon. It's about our choices. The choices we make and the choices we have. Never feel helpless. You can do it. You can change. And with this, the society will change. That brings us to the fuel price. Yes, it is expensive, but we have alternatives. Wish you all the best. Assalamu alaikum.